Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard. I'm Richard on the MakeCode forum.
Hi, I'm Joey at J1 on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Shannon at Chickow on the MakeCode forum.
And it's MakeCode Juniors.
Dun it, dun it.
I don't have a plan for today, so I'm going to look around my room and choose a thing to make a game about. Oh, I got it. All right. Wait, yeah, this is a good idea. Shannon, I'm asking you because I know that you have opinions on this topic. What would the ideal kaiju game look like for you? Oh, this is especially appropriate because I'm wearing my Rodan shirt today. Rodan.
In the ideal kaiju game, you never see the kaiju. It's only present in news broadcast updates, and you are in a boardroom and you're trying to decide what to do about it.
Okay, so it's like the
Bureaucrat's guide to
government
kaiju.
response.
Sorry, Joey,
So
what were you
what?
saying?
Bureaucrat's Guide to Kaiju.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if we did a narrative game? All right, it's going to have a lot of talking, and the main display we have is like a radar readout, and we see the monster like approaching, and we have to like make decisions and stuff based on that. That'll be fun. I want to render a radar thing. That'll be fun. I'll have to figure out how to do that. Let's see that first. So, for those who are confused about the words we are saying, kaiju is the Japanese term for monsters. And specifically, it kind of refers to the big monsters that go around and destroy cities and such. So the most famous one is Godzilla, but there's all sorts of ones. There's Rodan, there's King Ghidorah, there's Magular, there's Gamera. I watch a lot of kaiju movies. I have since I was a kid. And so I like them quite a bit. One of the things that often happens in these kaiju movies is when the kaiju shows up, you have a lot of human stories going on about the response to the kaiju. It's not just them smashing stuff. So it's like, you'll have the government in a boardroom and they'll be like, we've never seen a creature like this. What are we going to do? And so we're going to kind of try to capture that a little bit, I think. There's always a bunch of people with monitors, and one's got a radar thing, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's broken through District 3, stuff like that.
Are you thinking about like making it politicky? Like have one guy in the background going like, what could they really do? Who really cares about a kaiju anyway? Why are we dealing with this when we could like siphon off a few more dollars from my pet project?
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, we're adding arcade sprite util, Joey's wonderful extension, because it's going to have some stuff that is useful for making a radar. So I want to start with the radar thing because that's the thing I'm kind of like most excited about right in this moment. And let's talk about a radar. So this is, I don't know if you probably see them in old movies and stuff nowadays, but like I'd be the idea is you have a circle, you have a line coming out that is going around the circle, like sweeping, and it leaves a little trail behind. And every time it passes something, you see a blip appear that slowly fades away. And it just keeps doing this circular motion, and you can see the blips update every time it goes past.
We're going to do the fade away.
What?
Are we going to do the fade away look?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You do grayscale or green scale.
You could do that. You could also just choose like the purples. We have a pretty good fading on purples. We have several shades. Okay, but to start, I want to just draw the circle. So we're going to go into Sprite Utils and grab a render on z-index2 screen block, which is nifty. We're also going to grab a draw circle block, also in Sprite Utils. Draw circle. Gonna pass in the screen, and we should see this pop up now. There we go. That's a circle. Yeah, it's a pixely circle. All right, I'm gonna make some variables now so that we can change the size of this thing. We're going to do radius. And we'll go ahead and set this up in onStart. And I'm going to set this to be 40. Nice. Big old circle. Okay, so we've got a circle. Let's go ahead and have a line that is sweeping around now. So I'm going to go into the image category, and we're going to drag out a draw line block. So for the image, we want to pass in the screen again. For the color, we're going to, let's see, we're going to make this like just white, I think, and we're going to make the line green. Yeah, I think it's green. And we want to, I think I'm going to make some more variables right now. And these are going to be the CX and CY. And this is, again, just so that I can move this around later when I want to. So for now, we're going to set these to be 80 and 60, because that is the center of our screen. And let's go ahead and use this in our circle code. So right here. Now we want to draw this line from that center. So we're going to go ahead and put CX and CY here. And now for this other one, we're going to have to do a little bit of math. So you can see right now I have 0, 0, and our line is just drawing up to the top left corner, because that's where 0, 0 is. But we're going to do just a tiny bit of trig. I promise it's not going to be that much. Where we are going to have an angle that we are changing over time. So I'm going to make another variable, which is going to be called current angle. And we're going to set this to be 0 to start. We're going to be using degrees for this because degrees are easier to think about. And we're going to, inside of here, do a change current angle by 1. So it's going to always be going up, and that'll make it sweep clockwise. What's up? Joey's smiling. All right, I think something's up. Okay, so we're drawing our line. We have our angle. Now we need to do the actual math to make this work. So we're going to basically use our radius and our CX and CY and angle all together to get the point where this line should end. So we have a, let's see, a multiply. We have a, inside of square root, we can change this to be a cosine. And we want to do the CX plus the radius times the cosine of our angle. And we want to convert that from degrees to radians. Like that. Now we're going to do the same thing for y, but we are going to change this to be cy, and we're going to change this cosine to be sine. And woo, there we go. Look at that. Cool.
Beautiful.
All right. So now I want to do a trail behind it. This is going to be the tricky part. So I think what we want to do, the easiest way to do this is to just use a for loop. We're going to use a for index loop, and we're going to draw more lines. This time, though, we're going to use the teal color instead of the bright green. And for the current angle, we're going to do the current angle minus our index. Okay, there we got a little bit of a trail going behind us now. Let's make sure we put the green line at the end. There we go. Okay, and we're going to change this to be, let's just make our game really slow, 20. Yeah, okay. So you can see it's not perfect. You can see these little black lines there. I mean, these black dots that are going through. And Joey, can you tell us why that's happening?
Just like, pixels are weird, right? You're trying to do a set, like a complete angle with only the whole digits, and they don't line up correct, like nicely. I'm not really sure the best like mathematical describe that.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically right. So because we're dealing with pixels as opposed to the real world, we have to approximate lines. We can't map them out perfectly. And that's because it just doesn't map perfectly. When you have these pixels, which are like an area that takes up coordinates, as opposed to like decimal locations like we have in the real world. So because it doesn't map out perfectly, not all angles are showing up correctly, and some pixels get left out. Anyway, if you're interested in that, you should look up Bresenham's line algorithm, which is what we use to draw pixels. It's also what we use for the circles. So yeah, that's nifty. Okay,
cool
he is a cool guy. Probably. I don't know anything about him.
Hopefully he is, and I didn't just like. Hopefully we're not just using his math and ignoring the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure his politics are fine. Hopefully. Okay, so I'm going to do like radius minus index, so it also goes down a little bit. Oh, that's too much.
One side Arduino says you could just fill a triangle instead of drawing a gazillion lines.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and just write some triangle fill code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that would be the proper way to do this. The issue being that it is it's a little difficult to do triangle fill.
You would also need to do like the outer arc too, like the remainder part from the actual triangle to the edge of the circle.
Yeah. Do we love this trail? I don't know if I do.
Should it be something like where you do the shading, where it's like to do shading, you increase the distance between lines, so like it's very full right next to it, and then there's a little gap between one line and then another gap with an increasing distance?
Yeah, that might look cool.
Okay, let's give that a shot.
So we like cut this one so it's like the first quarter of it is exactly like this, and then it fades out.
Mm-hmm. So what do we want to do? A log? Do we have a log?
Pretty sure we do.
What's that, a square root? Yeah.
No.
No.
Will square root do the same thing?
Probably. It's
been a while
power
since
of 1/2. So.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do the square root of the index, and we're probably gonna have to multiply that index by something. Yeah, we're gonna have to multiply that index times something. So we'll do the index times 5. Hmm. 20. $100.
Doing the opposite.
Yeah, I think it might be doing the opposite. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can fix this, right? We just need to do 20 minus the index. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure, that's reasonable. Yeah, and we just play with the numbers until they look pretty.
Yeah, it's that's how you code.
Why did
Reload
that
again?
not- Yeah.
It's possible that this is not the issue, because it's the square root is the issue, not the no, but now it should be going down, right? Math.
I feel like 20 minus index should work.
No, it won't. Nope. No, it won't, because this is still going to do the exact same lines. It's just drawing them in the opposite order.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. How do we do this?
Do it squared times 10.
Wait, what?
So you're doing index times 100 square root. So do instead
Oh yeah. What if we did index
times 10 squared.
times 10 squared? That's going to be a lot, isn't it? Should we just do index squared?
Yeah, try that, I guess.
Do we just want the Fibonacci sequence here? Hard code the Fibonacci sequence for distance.
Yeah, so squared is a lot.
So make it like 1.1
Squared
or
divided by
something.
5.
Yeah.
All right, let's do 1.5. Pretty evenly distributed, even though you can tell it's going up. You know?
It doesn't go up fast enough, I guess.
Yeah.
So wait, we have 20 arrays, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you just do it squared and then you then we can just say divide that number by however far you want it to go, right? Like if we want it to basically be 30 like pixels, 30 arc pixels away, just divide it. Well, I guess until it gets down to 30. What? Till the 20 squared is 30, so by 14-ish, 13, whatever. This is math. We can do math.
Okay, so make this like 80. We know that'll make it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10.
I think it's going to be on the order of like 10 is probably what we want.
Ooh.
Okay. That's not awful.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Let's go with this. Okay. So we've got our thing going. Now we need to draw the dots. So we are going to make, let's see, how do we want to do this?
We could
So I think we'll
put it,
yeah.
instead
I
of
have
a
an idea.
renderable, we could draw this to a sprite. Okay, a sprite image, and then we could do it overlap. But your idea is probably better.
No, that was basically my idea. I'm not going to do all of this to a renderable, but I'm just going to do the line, the sweep line.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to create a kaiju sprite, which is just going to be the outline of a kaiju, which will look like got a tail.
I was eating and missed context, but Unsend Arduino says an array of points and draw them in after you draw the radar.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but then we're
It's
gonna have to
probably
do
the
some...
realistically better way, but this is also a fun way.
Yeah, I figured we were storing an array of points, and so a nice way to do points is just a sprite that is invisible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it has an X and Y, and it's an object we can put into an array easily. And so when I was thinking about that, then I was like, oh, but then I guess you can just do the overlaps so that we don't have to do all the math.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of my thought process.
Yeah.
You know?
Plus, this way we can actually have it so that they're bigger than a single point, because like we might want to show kaiju, but also a person on the radar or something like that.
Yeah. That's a good point. We get all the benefits we have with sprites. Like if we wanted to do sprite follow or something, you know, then this would make that possible, because we could have like the kaiju here, and maybe we have a little button that's like launch fighter jets, and we have some fighter jets come in that show up on the radar.
Nice.
All right. By the way, the fighter jets never work. No.
But they do make the big explosion scene, which is super important for the movie, and it takes up a lot of the budget.
They don't in old kaiju movies, to be honest. They're mainly just
I'm thinking
wires.
of the new ones where that's my favorite part of the movies.
It's like a wire that they put a paper plane on, and it like has a little firecracker coming out the back that just like makes it go forward. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But it doesn't have the realism that I think modern day, CGI has.
Maybe we should do a series of these games with different like things, and we can put them all on arcade boards and all film a monster movie with it. And so like we have this radar on one arcade board, and I don't know, like a launch fighter jet button on another one, and we hook them all up with JackDack, and then we build our own kaiju with our own little circuit playground running a little plane on a string.
I love this. John Fincher in chat says 3 buttons: launch fighter, send in tanks, and wake up the good kaiju.
Oh, good kaiju. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
need to make sure though that you don't take the two twins who magically summon the good kaiju and put them into a bird cage and make them perform performances for Japan's, like people in an auditorium, because it doesn't go well. All right. Then Mothra gets really angry at you.
The other bad thing to do is to send in a robot that's like a kaiju, because then that robot turns into the bigger bad kaiju, and you need a bigger kaiju to take care of it.
It's only if you use evil kaiju bones in the robot. Why did you do that? Come on.
And it sounds like you haven't heard of someone named Jet Jaguar, Joey, who just goes out there, saves everybody, and then at the end comes back and like powers back down. He turns giant somehow. It's never really explained. They're like, wow, he altered his programming so he can turn giant. It's like, okay, that's not super how coding works, but
what are you talking about? You want a bigger TV? Just like code 1.5x.
Yeah, true. You're right. How silly of me. I love Jet Jaguar mostly for his name. And he has a cool fight scene in that movie, Godzilla versus Megalon. Anyway, okay, so what were we doing? We need to make this a sprite so that we can do some overlap stuff. I'm going to create a sprite that is 160 by 120. So it's the size of our screen, just because that's going to be the easiest way to map these coordinates. We're going to, when we do this draw line stuff, we are also going to go into images and do a fill picture with transparency. We're going to be filling in our image for our sprite. So this is going to be our, I'm going to call this sweep line. So we're going to fill in with transparency for our sweep line image. Now we're going to get rid of this thing that's actually drawing the line. And instead, well, I guess we're going to keep it, but we're going to make this the sweep line image instead of the screen. And if we did everything right, it should look exactly the same as before. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so looks exactly the same as before, but what's happening now is we have this green line is a sprite. The rest of this is just being drawn directly to the screen. But that means we can now do overlaps with this. So I'm going to make a new kind for this sweep line. We're going to call it sweep. And we're going to now put our little object somewhere in the world. So let's go ahead and too far. There we go. All right, good. And so now we're going to have to do some trickery. So we want to make it so that we have a kaiju that we can. It's going to be transparent most of the time. Actually, not transparent. Actually, I just had a great idea. Just make it black.
Yeah, I mean, we do. Oh wait. Oh, that.
So the reason this is nice is because we can keep the shape of it in our image. If we made it transparent, well, that obviously wouldn't work. Where it's all transparent, we wouldn't be able to draw it with the same shape every time. But because it's like this, we can still have overlap events happen because it has pixels. And what we're going to do is when we have the overlap happen, we are going to change its color to be a brighter color. So let's go ahead and code that right now. We're going to do a on sprite of kind. Let's see. We should give this a better name.
For anybody else who wants to do something similar to this, by the way, the invisible flag does similar, but since we want to actually show it half the time, like show the red dot and all that, this is probably better.
Okay, so what we're going to do is when we have this overlap, we're going to use Shannon's favorite block. And we're going to replace the image color black with, we'll do pink because we have a lot of colors we can fade for pink. Oh, maybe red. We have a lot of colors for red also. All right, so let's wait for this to hit. Sweep. There we go. All right. We got something up on the monitor. Okay, so now that that's happening, we want to make it so that we have a decay time for this. So I'm thinking we should add the arcade sprite data extension. And now is the time where I would ask Vivian what time it is. But because there was a mutiny, everybody rebelled against me. We no longer do what time is it arcade sprite data. I'm as sad as you guys, folks.
Arcade sprite data and not timers?
Yeah, because I wanna. Could do this with timers.
Could just hard code it in a
timers
loop.
might end up.
Yeah, timers might actually make this code a bit cleaner. Let's do that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a function, which is going to be called swap color. It's going to take in a time, and it's going to take in a color, and it's going to take in an image. All right. So what we're going to do is come down here, get rid of this image thing. We're going to change the color in this from whatever start color we have to an end color. And so what I think we need to do is we need to make a function that is going to be called, let's do Git Next Color. This is going to take in a number, just going to be color. All right, so with Git Next Color, what we want to do is we want to say, like, with whatever color we currently have, what should the next faded version of it be? So we're going to be starting out with when color equals 2, because red is 2 right here. And now I'm going to read out some numbers, which, Joey, I'm going to rely on you to remember. Okay.
Are they not going to just be 2, 3, 4, 1?
No.
Or 2, 3, 4, 5?
No, they're not. Okay, so it's going to be 2, 3, 11, 12, 15.
Oh, so you're going red, pink, purple scale. Okay.
Yeah.
Chat wants you to know that you can rely on them too in the future.
Thank you, chat. I should have asked you first. Between you and me, Joey's not the best.
Yeah.
Joey is also part of chat. Joey's always secretly in chat when he tells us he doesn't want to join us and hang out in the live stream call.
Also, I'm just joking. If I was hanging off of a cliff, I would want Joey holding the rope, not chat.
But chat's a robot. Robots are probably stronger in most cases.
Okay, what comes after 3?
Oh, 11.
7 and 12.
Yeah. Then 15.
And 15. Cool. And change this to be 11. All right. Okay, so we're going to change the number from color to Git Next Color. Like that, and we're going to pass in the color. And we're going to do inside of timers, we have an after however many milliseconds to do this thing. So we're going to do this. We're going to pass in time. And then we are going to call this function again. And pass in image, pass in time, and pass in Git Next Color. Until if color does not equal 15. Then
do we have like a keyed one here? The time for the timer, like one that has a string that we can change. That makes sense.
Yes, we do.
Okay, because
I don't want to do that because we're going to have multiple objects.
Right. We don't want to use like Sprite ID or yeah. Okay.
We don't have Sprite ID in blocks.
Oh, we don't. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can just change the kind and change it back or something.
Okay, so we have our swap color function. So for the first swap, we're just going to do it manually. So we're going to change the color in the image from black to red. And we want this to be the image of our sprite. And then we are going to call our function swap color. Put it up here. And we're going to pass in, this is going to be 2, because that is our current color. The time is going to be something, 500. We'll see how that looks. Yeah, let's watch this go. I think this should work. Bing.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it should be faster. Bing.
Yeah. I think it will look better if it's out of the sweep, though.
What do you mean?
Like, I also think it should be faster, but I think if it starts fading while it's still sweeping over, then the contrast will be. Well, I'll give it a shot. Let's just see what it looks like.
Well, let's do it this. We're going to do the initial swap color will be after a longer delay. And we will do all of the rest of them at like 100 interval. And we'll make this 1 second. Bing.
Nice.
Longtime viewer Davix is also back in chat and asks,
Hi,
can radar
Davix.
detect Davix?
Our radar can detect anything. It's very powerful. All right, cool. All right, we got a cool little radar thing going on here now. I'm gonna make this like 800, I think, and just delete all of this stuff. All right, so we've got this. What do we want to do now? So what should the player actions be? I mean, I think we're gonna do some story stuff later, or maybe in a different stream. I'm thinking right now, maybe we should have the ability to put out some planes or something. Like, we need something else on this radar.
Rocks?
Rocks.
Yeah, just like here's a thing that's in the world.
Oh, you mean like, well, I mean, they usually put the radar high up so it specifically doesn't hit rocks.
I mean, if it's hitting the kaiju.
Well, yeah, but the kaiju's super tall.
What about like a UFO?
There are often aliens.
It's true. It is
The
a
benefit of a
staple in
UFO
many.
is that it's a circle and it's not like a plane shape, so you don't have to worry about it flying backwards.
All right, so what I'm hearing is we want to have a variety of objects. All right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have you guys draw me some silhouettes. They have to be 8x8 or smaller. And keep in mind that the kaiju is going to be like big 8x8. So you probably want to do smaller than that. And I want you guys to try and make some silhouettes that are a little bit recognizable. I know it's tough, but.
I don't know if there's anything we can do about this now, but Unsigned Arduino says that where your audio video is very out of sync, like 2 seconds apart, and then when we all switch talking back and forth, we are also very out of sync. The video and the sound.
Yes, I'm very sorry about that. My internet is acting a little bit weird today. There's nothing I can do about that right now, unfortunately. So it's probably just going to stay that way, and hopefully it'll be fixed up tomorrow.
Yeah, just blame it on the ghosts. That's what is actually causing it.
We're kind of at the mercy of Microsoft Teams because that's what we do this over. So yeah. Anyway. All right, so I'm going to, while they are making me some objects, and guys, don't feel limited to one. Go ahead and make a few. I'm going to be working on making it so this kaiju is slowly moving towards the center. All right, actually, you know what? I'm going to make a goal for the kaiju, and I'm going to say this kaiju wants to eat up some sweet, tasty nuclear fuel rods. And so I'm going to be making something that looks like a nuclear reactor. That's kind of tough to do. Let's see.
Triangle with an exclamation point in it?
Could do that. I was thinking like trying to make it look like a cooling tower. Like that kind of. Yeah, that's okay. Let's put this somewhere where it's not constantly overlapping with the thing. So to make this happen, I'm probably going to use Sprite utils again. And because I don't want to keep guessing at values, I'm actually just going to use Joey's wonderful place angle distance from Sprite code. Make this the scan line or sweep line. And we're going to place, let's see, first we'll do the kaiju, which is going to be at angle, let's do it at like 45 degrees. So I need to get a degrees to radians block. And for distance, we want it to be kind of near the edge, so I'm going to do like 30. There, so our kaiju is now down there. That looks good. So let's go ahead and place our nuclear reactor far away. So we're actually going to do like, let's see, so 180 would be to the left. So I want to do somewhere between 180 and like 270, I think. So I'm going to make this 220. Oh, whoops. Make this my sprite too. Nice. Okay. So now we have these two things up there. I'm going to make it so that our kaiju is very slowly walking towards our nuclear reactor. So let's see. I'm going to do a follow, and it's going to be my sprite, which I'm going to now rename kaiju. And we're going to make this one new variable, cooling tower. Go, and we're going to, oh, I need to make this cooling tower too. And we're going to make this speed 0.1. Now, let's see, is it actually moving? That's the question. No, it's not. Yeah, so I thought this might be an issue with the speed being too low, of it not actually moving because of how it's implemented. Mm-hmm. So we'll go ahead and make this, we'll do our own follow, I think. Really low velocity should work though, right?
It should, yes.
Okay, so we're going to set the velocity of kaiju to be the angle from kaiju.
Really low below like 0.05 might not work. I think because once it gets to the point where it's like below at 1 FX8, that's a problem.
Okay. All right, so it's right here where my pointer is. Still where my pointer is. Ooh, rough. Point 2. Nope. All right, we're going to go up to 1 pixel per or 0.5 pixels per second. That should work. There we go. Yeah, I can see it moving.
Moved a little. I guess that is something that we might want to account for. Like, it should be stable when it shouldn't move after the radar has pinged it, right?
No, I don't really care.
Like while it is being shown during a ping, it probably shouldn't, but yeah, we can handle that later.
You're right. You're right. I'm not trying to deny that you're not right. because you are right.
It's a rule of cool type of thing, right? Like if something's cool, you gotta just go with it, and you can accept some like physics irregularities because of it.
All right, we've got some images now. Let's go ahead and bring these in, and I'm going to try and guess what they are.
Oh, well, don't read mine then.
All right, we have airplane.
Yeah.
Bomber? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next up from Joey. Joey wrote what it is. Joey ruining the game.
To be fair, you didn't tell us this game was happening.
You guys gotta react. You know, you gotta sense and you gotta map to it. This is a UFO. Thank you, Joey.
Unsigned Arduino suggests every 5 seconds move 1 pixel closer to the target instead of moving constantly very slowly.
Could do that, yeah. And this one's a triangle.
It's a mountain. Come on, Richard.
Okay, so what was Unsigned Arduino's suggestion again? Every like rotation we move like 1 pixel towards or something?
Yeah. Every like fixed time limit.
Okay. So let me think about the best way to code that, because the whole point is to make it so it's not moving while the scan line is over it. So we still need to detect, is the scan line near it, is the problem, right?
I guess we could spawn a separate sprite that just sits there and then it gets destroyed after the. So just a visual only sprite and have the other one move in the background.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and so this is going to be pretty quick, I think. We're going to go into images and we're going to get a clone image block right here. We're going to create a sprite. We're going to set its X and Y. Okay, so we're going to first create this sprite with a clone of the other sprite image. We're going to change the image of our, let's see, blip. We're going to change the image of our blip to swap out the black for red, and then we are going to pass the blip image in where we were passing the other sprite image. And we need to set the X of our blip to be, well, the X and Y of our blip to be the X and Y of our sprites, so that it's in the same place.
Dabik says, man, I love the invisible sprites. Lucas says, mountains don't show up on radars.
See, that's what I thought.
A very tall building. It's the roof of a Firewatch tower.
Ooh. Oh, I set the blip position to blip X, blip Y. That's not what I want. I do wonder how they filter this stuff out. Does it like only detect things that are moving, maybe, you know?
That is what Lucas says. If it was a moving mountain, it would show.
I see. Okay, so splitting sprite, we're cloning it, and we've got this right here. We need to destroy it at the end. So we're going to go ahead and go into our swap color thing, and we have this if color does not equal 15, and we're just going to say otherwise destroy it. Oh, we're not passing in a sprite though, we're passing in an image. All right, we're just going to set a lifespan. Boy, I love lifespan. Just comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it should be 800 plus, let's see, there we have 1, 2, 3, 4 transitions. So 800 plus 400 is 1200. Cool. Okay. So that's working all right. The other thing we want to do though is we want to make sure our Z for our scan line is our thing that we draw, the like green trail is above the actual sprite. So we're going to change this render on Z index to be 1, and we're going to change the Z index of our blip to be 2. And we're going to change the Z index of our sweep line to be 3. Yeah, this looks right. I think everything's working correctly. So one thing that's a little weird is it's creating a bunch of sprites actually because we're not
Changing
we're yeah, exactly. Which I can't think of a super easy way to fix that off the top of my head.
I guess a separately do change after 1200 change the kind back.
Yeah, all right. I'm fine with that actually. So we're gonna
Actually,
set
you
these.
could probably just put it into the same after 800, right? Because it's not
Exactly.
going
That's
to overlap.
yeah, what exactly what I'm gonna do. Great minds. Where's the sprite kind thing? There you go. Okay. So we're gonna set the sprite kind of our other sprite to food, and then we're gonna set it back to bogey right here. So this should make it so that we only create one sprite every 800 milliseconds or whatever. Okay, and there's a bug in my code, which is we have this after 800 do, and we have this blip variable. We can't use local variables here. Yeah, so we have to make a function.
Oh.
It's going to be called do blip, and it's going to take in a sprite, which is going to be the blip source, and it's going to take in a sprite, which is going to be the blip. And we are now going to take all of this code and put it in here, except for the blip, which is what I set out here. And then we're going to call this function do blip and pass in other sprite and blip. And then we need to use the local variable blip. Oh, sorry, no, actually, we're fine having that blip there. We just need the blip source here and here and here and here.
The one, yeah.
All right, so that should fix that bug. All right, cool. So we've got a bunch of objects now. Let's just go ahead and put a bunch of random ones in the world because I just want to see things, going around. So let's just do a on-game updates every 500 milliseconds. And I'm going to just create a projectile.
Question from chat: Are we done with the cat co-op game? And was the idea sudden, or had you been working on it for a while?
I think we are done with the cat co-op game, unless you want to see more of it, and then we can dust it back off. As for the idea for the cat co-op game, no, I came up with that like 10 minutes before we started the stream.
And the answer is the same for this game, if that's what you're referring to. If you're talking about for
This
the
game
radar game,
was-
except this was like 5 minutes after the stream.
Exactly. Today's stream, I literally looked around my room, saw Magular over here, and was like, let's do a kaiju game.
Nice.
Yeah, let us know if you want to keep seeing more of Cat Co-op Game or have features that you want to see in it, because we can. But
yeah, I like that game, so it's very cute. So we can totally keep doing that one. In fact, this game we maybe should have thought out a bit more because I don't really know what the gameplay is for this game at all. So we might actually just stop here at our fun little radar rendering because I am at least happy with the radar rendering we did.
Davik suggests put 3 UFOs all around the radar, make a 50% chance they get detected. If you detect one, it gets added. And if you find all 3, then you can see the mountain. And the mountain is sending out UFOs.
Oh. Interesting.
Maybe not in the 3 minutes that we have left, but
yeah, I think we're probably done for today. So again, let us know if you want to see more Cat Co-op game. We can totally bring that back. But for today, I think that's going to be it for us. Make sure you tune in tomorrow though, because we're going to have a very special stream. And guys, I know you had so much trouble with this last month. All right, when I was asking you what was special every day of the week, and it was always just not what I was looking for, and I had to fill it in. So, guys, why is tomorrow special? Shannon?
it's Dracula's birthday.
Joey?
Is it Richard's birthday?
We're doing the Game Jam results stream tomorrow. So look forward to that. It's not my birthday. So yeah, tune in. I'm going to be posting up some more info about that on the forum, and we will be posting all of our Game Jam winners to the forum and to our Game Jam webpage. Hopefully by the end of this week, but we have a thing going on Friday, so it might not necessarily happen. But we should all be here tomorrow, so tune in. And tomorrow we will also let you know if Friday's stream is canceled or not. I need to check in on the schedule we have stuff going on Friday. So once we figure that out, we'll let you know.
Thanks.
Anyway, I'm Richard. At Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joey at Joe Underall on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Shannon at Check Out on the MakeCode forum. I see your suggestions for the cat game, and I'm going to tell Richard after we get off this stream because time's up.
All right. See you later.